use tuning forks to do this stuff. Isn't that interesting?
It is.
Now remember that your body is water, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, let's keep going. In Numbers chapter 7, I hope you can see it there. In Numbers chapter 7, counting every 6 verses, verse 12, and then verse 18, then verse 24, and so on and so forth, okay? You're going to take that verse to the lowest denominator. In your King James Bible, it's actually in bold. Verse 12 is in bold. It's darker than the rest of them. You're going to see it. It's there, okay? So if you take verse 12 and you go 1 plus 2 is what? 3, right? Verse 18, 1 plus 8 is what? 9. Verse 24, 2 plus 4 is what? 6. What do you get? 396. Isn't that exactly the frequency of ut? Mm-hmm. And did you know that every single one of those, ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, has a definition according to the Webster's Dictionary?
No.
That does something to your body. And according to one of the
Really?
Bible dictionaries, and I'm going to show you that today. All right, so when you count down all the way down to verse 84, you're going to see a sequence. Every verse that is in bold, beginning of verse 12, every 6 verses. You guys follow? This is the most difficult part of the teaching because it involves concentrating and getting in there. Okay? So what it is, if you go to verse 12, counting every 6 verses to 18, 24, you're going to get to the lowest denominator, you're going to get what? 396, 396. When you go to verse 13, watch this. Verse 13, and then verse 19, and then verse 25, what do you get? 13, 1 plus 3 is what? 4. 1 plus 9 is what? 10. 1 plus 0 is what? 1. And then you go to 25. 2 plus 5 is what? 7, correct? What do you get? 417. What is 417? The frequency of re, resonary fibris, re. You see what I mean? Now, if you keep going in that chapter, I only showed you 2. But if you go now to verse 14 and verse 20 and verse 26, what do you get? Verse 14. 1 plus 4 is what? 5. 20 is 2. And 26 is 8, right? That is the frequency of me, 528. You see, if you do that all through the whole text, you're going to come with those numbers that you see on the screen right now. In your Bibles, in the chapter that is the longest in the Torah, that no one looks at, you have the key to the original solfa sounds, the original solfeggio inscripted in the text, that we can restore so we can worship Yahweh in His frequency.
Wow.
Isn't that powerful?
It is.
The problem is that it's New Age that is using this stuff. New Age have taken the truth and has profaned it in their idolatry. So when everybody wants to hear and look into, I don't buy any of their CDs because it's already dedicated to their gods. Mm-hmm. How can we take Yahweh's truth? Remember, Yahweh created everything. How can we recapture His truth back to us and reclaim it and make sure that we become holy according to Yahweh's truth? Would you agree with that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How long are we going to let the enemy do whatever he wants to do? Let's reclaim it. Don't mix it again.
Don't mix it.
But let's reclaim it and make sure that we do it for the right purpose. Mm-hmm. Now, what's interesting is in music, if we go to the screen, I'm going to show you the definitions of tones in the Latin solfeggio, including hidden entries from the Webster's Dictionary. Okay, you got to find it in all Webster's. I did. I found an old one. It took me hours to find it, but I got it, okay? Each one of those, ut, quint laxus, the syllable sung to this note in the medieval hymn of St. John the Baptist. And the definition is this: the entire scale of range, the gamut of dramatic emotion from grief to joy. In other words, if I sing a song at that particular frequency, I can change my state from grief to joy.
Hallelujah.
Isn't that, what is it that people do when they go to church, they go to congregations? Isn't it worship one of the main intricate part of the service?
Yes. To
get people all excited about worshiping Yahweh. In the churches, what they do now, they're keeping them entertained. They bring people by because of the music. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's sad. Mm-hmm. They are using music to bring people in to keep them entertained, so now they can, hopefully, they'll stick around for the message. Mm-hmm. No. See, in the temple service, the music set the environment, so people became vessels to receive the presence and to receive the blessings of Yahweh. Mm-hmm. They came ready. They have to do a mikvah. They have to do immersion. They have to be sanctified. They have to do all kinds of stuff. When they got there, Lord, they were ready to receive. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the whole environment was set up. So when you got in there, it was heaven on earth. It's amazing. By the way, stopping here for a minute. Creationists say that when Adam was in the Garden of Eden, see, the atmosphere was different. The atmospheric pressure was different. We're only breathing like what? Maybe 19% of the oxygen that we should be having.
So.
It used to be like 28%, I think, I believe. I can't remember right now. But there was a canopy around the earth, according to what the creationists say. And they say that in that time you can see the stars in colors. What's interesting is
don't doubt it.
that, you see, music, light, emits frequency. Okay, the rabbis of old understood this. Now, what's really intriguing to me is that creationists say that when Adam was in the Garden of Eden, what woke him up was the music that proceeded from the light. He was being serenaded every morning. That is what we're going back to, by the way. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
We can hear the voice of Yahweh. And it's interesting because when the rabbis believe that when the children of Israel were in the wilderness and the mountain, where the voice of Yahweh came down from the mountain, it came down like in a wave. They saw the voice like in a wave. And it scared the living daylights out of them. Boy, it really did.
Yes, it did.
Okay, so it's interesting when Messiah comes back, when Mashiach comes back, sent by the Father Yahweh, he's going to look a lot different than we think he's going to look like. And when he speaks, every knee will bow. Because when he comes out and speaks, it's going to be with an overwhelming power of the electromagnetic force that he's bringing. That's going to bring restoration not only to our bodies, but to the whole world.
Wow.
See, this is not your typical teaching, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay, good.
I love it.
Let's go to the next one. Resonatory free breeze. Action in answer to or intended to undo a situation or that performance of a new action brings back an earlier state of affairs. Ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. What you see now is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, right? The Catholic Church changed the ut and they put do, and they added ti and they added do at the end.
Okay.
But it used to be 6 and they're looking for the 7th. Because it's supposed to be 7. So right now they're looking for the seventh frequency, but right now they have 6. So what's interesting is the re, okay, resonance.
You know, you ought to tell people, as an engineer, you should tell people when you, the frequency is when you say do, that is the frequency if you looked on an oscilloscope or anything else.
Yep.
Okay? Maybe that makes more sense to
Okay,
me.
help me because I'm not an engineer now. So help me out.
I'm sitting here absorbing it, man.
Okay,
you got
good.
something I've never.
Well, Baruch Hashem, praise Yah for that.
Amen.
You know, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It is
You know, that's
exciting.
why I get pumped. You know, every day I wake up and I thank the Father for the mercy and for the love that He's given us to be revealed. Isn't that exciting? These guys are looking at me, and you know, it's like I know my brother over there this morning. We're recording, and he's forgetting sometimes the time because he's looking at the PowerPoint. You know, and we're having a good time because we are learning. We're all learning. We are all absorbing. So many years we've been handed down a little watered down religion. Now we want the meat. We're ready for the meat.
That's right.
And we want to understand why is it that you have decided by the Ruach HaKodesh to turn more towards the Hebrew roots and bring in people that teach this stuff. Why? Because in your heart it was something that made you go that direction. Now I'm trying to give you reasons why.
But you see, everything that we do here, to get the signal from here around the world, it's all frequencies.
Exactly. So you are, by the way, you know that the word of Yahweh never dies. Your words don't die. Whatever you said today is resonating through the universe forever.
It goes on. We know that.
And I could never understand how in the world when I was a kid, I used to say, well, how can he bring back what I did 20 years ago or whatever it was? You know what I mean? And now that I'm 41, I go, please, Lord, don't remember what I did 20 years ago. Because whatever I say is still going around the universe. So basically, it's like play the DVD. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's going to bring it back to remembrance.
But
I
you
said,
see-
I didn't mean that. Please forgive me. I'm already repenting before you get there.
But everything travels at the speed of light.
Right.
Have I ever showed you in the control room you can see the speed of light here?
I'd like to see that. I've never seen that.
We can show you through the satellites.
That's cool.
I'll do it to you tomorrow.
All right, please do. You see, so we're going into the deeper level here, so this is really good. So re is actually an action in answer to or intended to undo a situation. What is it that we're trying to undo by worshiping? To undo bondage, spiritual warfare, right?
Yeah.
And to bring back an earlier state of affairs. I don't know about you, but I want to live in the millennial reign with our Messiah forever. That's going to be a lot peaceful.
Yes.
Okay, mira gestorum, miracle. Listen to the definition that is given in the Webster's. Webster, Freemason. Remember that.
Okay.
King James, Freemason. Mozart, Freemason. Webster's, Freemason. There's a clue there that I'm going to leave you hanging on. Then you got to go back and look that up.
Okay.
It says an extraordinary occurrence that surpasses all known human powers or natural forces, as is